Good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you on a beautiful morning? It is a high tide coming out to a low tide. You see the movement of the water as it's going back out to sea. The ebb and flow of life. Are you coming or going? That's the question. And the question is acceptance of. Are you accepting of how things are? Are you accepting of the tides going in and out in your life and around you? Earlier this week, I was listening to a person who has I guess you call it a podcast, whatever you want to call it, a presence on the internet. And she's the one that I was listening to, and first learned about the Canadian convoy. So I have been listening to her on and off for at least a year, because it's been over a year since the convoy in Canada had started. And she had a title of the witches were attacking her, something on the order of. So I listened to her message, and she's clumping all witches into one category, because that's what the Holy Bible says to do. To group all people into one category and condemn all of them. And it's like, whoa, wait a minute. I do call myself a wise woman of a wise craft. My ex is the one who called me a witch first. And then when I was in a religion class, the teacher outed me as such. And growing up, I always thought witches were in fairy tales. I never thought that they were real. And then someone told me I was a practicing pagan. So instead of automatically denying, oh no, I'm a good little Christian girl, I could not be such evil that they clump people in the Bible. Excuse me. So I had to investigate, because condemnation prior to investigation is ignorance. So not wanting to be ignorant of the subject and, disagree or agree until I know what I'm disagreeing or agreeing to. So I found out, yeah, I am a little on the witchy side. And I also can see where it also correlates with teaching of the Christ, with Jesus' teachings. Because understanding the Wiccan Rede And that's in perfect love and perfect trust. Words the wicked read fulfill, and ye harm none, and do as you will. Now, wait a minute. What's that? Ever mind the rule of three, what ye send out comes back to thee? What? Well, hell, fire, and damnation. I don't want that to come back on me, so why in the mothers would I be pointing my finger out and wishing harm upon someone? If knowing that by doing that causes me harm. Well, that's not real smart now, is it? If I want to harm myself, then all I have to do is harm somebody else? Well, let's see. Let's start looking at this. You know, when I was young, and you will hear me saying I was brought up a good little Christian girl, full of all the judgments and the holier than thou, better than attitude of the Christian religion. Now, I'm not going to say all and clump it into that category, because there are some who do practice what they preach and who live by the teachings of the Christ and love one another as themselves, and understand that if we keep dividing people on our prejudices, well, that's not going to solve any problems. In fact, it's going to create more. And yes, you are seeing Thomas. Hello, Thomas. Good morning, Thomas. Would you like to say hi to the people also? Huh? Thomas? Thomas, would you like to say hi? No? He's cleaning himself. You know how it is, putting on his Sunday best for Sunday morning. Come on up. Well, hello, Jenny Wade. I love how your cat just appeared here. I love you, lady. Glad to see you're warm and well. You know I believe in magic, like mysterious white balloons that come down out of the sky to dance to music. Amen to that, Jenny. I don't know if how many of you know Jenny Wade. She is a brilliant artist of many different talents, and I had met her when she was playing in Asheville, North Carolina, and her one song, oh, Jenny, that doesn't sound good that I can't remember. What is it? Proud to be an American, but I don't think that was the title. But it's on the Sustainable Resolution Medical Cannabis Industrial Hemp that I co-produced and used her song, and we see that magic that's out there. And you know, why should we not see that magic and that divine in action? And by understanding that the more we divide and the more that we see the difference of, we're going to continue to have a disrespect. I am an American. There it is, Jenny. Yes. And it's a great song. And Jenny has a YouTube. I think you do have a YouTube channel, right, Jenny? That people can go and check out all your music. If you could put that up on here too, that would really be great. That way people will get to know you and your many, many talents. I don't know if you were listening last week, but James Crouch, the friend of mine who had allowed me to use his music for the theme of my TV show, had passed. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I don't know how much of his music's going to be available to the world. We are still in all this together. That's it. That's it. We are in this together. And I know Jim would get really frustrated because he was and is, however you want to put it, a really great talent. A really great artist. Like Jenny, he was a singer, songwriter, and he, was brilliant. But the problem is with, and there again, I'm just going to throw this out there as the problem with the true artists are we kind of don't sell our souls for fame and glory. That's not why we are doing this. That's not why we create. We create to live and to share our beauty in our expressions in however we do it. And James had gotten frustrated over the prejudice in the music industry and how money was made, and it disgusted him, so he wasn't a part of. And he did have fame as being acknowledged as one of the great artists that are out there. But he still held a prejudice, and he had taken down all of his music. So I don't know what will happen, but it's sad, to think that, Picasso would have destroyed all of his work because it would be worth a fortune after his death, but he did not get to reap the profit of while he was alive. And yeah, that is, what can I say? We do hope to be self-sustainable in what we do. And there's no reason why we shouldn't be self-sustainable in what we do. And the rules and regulations that want to control, it's not necessarily to help, but more to harm. It's okay, how can we make a profit on this? And, yeah, that's that division, that separation. And, it's sad. It really is. Because and there again, I was brought up to be prejudiced against the Catholics. And it's like, why? What is so different about who we're taught to be prejudiced of and ourselves? And I couldn't figure that one out. I was, I don't know, 17, I think. And I brought home a Catholic boy, but I didn't tell him he was Catholic. I just, brought him up to my great-grandmother and my great-aunt, and, those who had taught me as a good little Christian girl. And, it was after they thought that, oh, yes, he's a very nice guy, that I let him know, yeah, he's Catholic. And there really wasn't too much said after that. I mean, he was, just a friend, but, it was still the fact, he's Catholic. Why am I supposed to not like this person because they are Catholic? And that's pretty much been my mindset for a long time. And it's like, well, wait a minute. Why are you telling me not to like, not to do? Is it control? And is it fear? Because a lot of people are controlled through fear. And we just went through the past 3 years of being controlled through fear. And when I was talking about that condemnation prior to investigation, that plays in part of it too. I know I did a whole lot of research on lockdown before the books of Alexandria were burnt by Google and all the others who wish to have a certain agenda, narration of the situation. And I didn't condemn. I tried to and did research and tried to educate. In case you were wondering who was squawking and who joined us, I figured I'd show you. As well as someone else who had come in to say hello. And that is Carmela. There we go. Carmela's coming to check out what is making noises back there. And you get to see in the rearview mirror what is making noises back there. Even the animals, it's like they're dogs and cats, but yet they get along. And that's the thing, we can all get along. If the lamb can lay down with the lion, we can all get along. Just because we are different than doesn't mean that we can't get along. It's the acceptance of people and understanding that not everyone is the same. Everyone is different. And that's one reason why I like my astrology and learning astrology and learning how as above, so below, that we are but a speck of stardust in a universe. And there is greater understanding to be learnt in being a human being. We are spiritual beings filled with love and joy upon our entrance into our existence of a human being. We are taught to hate. We are taught to divide and be prejudiced of others who are different than we are, because that is what we are taught. And if we do not investigate on our own and only listen to the guidance of a few who have a certain mindset, then it is what it is. We don't know what we don't know until we're taught, and sometimes what we're taught is not always the truth. So therefore, it is up to us to research. It is up to us to investigate and to find out why you are being taught to have a certain mindset, to believe that we are better than. Better than why? If all men are created equal, well then where does the separation and divide start? Well, I guess that's that thing. All are created equal. And it's not until we are taught and accept the fact that we are not all created equal and live in that mindset of, instead of being our own unique selves and looking at our uniqueness, our talents, our abilities, our puzzle piece, our individual puzzle piece in a large tapestry. Now, if you were just a square or really a circle, would you fit into a tapestry? Or would you just be a building block? You look at all of those ancient structures that have been built out of rocks with such precision. How did they do that? You are like one of those blocks that, if it wasn't just perfect, could not fit into the whole tapestry of life. So instead of wondering why people don't have the same size and shape puzzle piece that you do, well, maybe they don't fit into your corner of the picture, but that doesn't make them any less valuable for being a part of the tapestry that we call life. What happens when we're missing a piece of the puzzle? Well, it really sucks when you get to the end of a puzzle and all of a sudden there's one piece that's missing. You can't really see the whole picture. You can imagine it, but not having someone's individual puzzle piece, it does affect the whole picture. So instead of judging others for not having or being who you are. Learn to accept them as their unique part of a tapestry that might be so large that you can't even see the whole thing in one setting. That the intricate detail of each puzzle piece is more than just a black or white piece, or just a blue, or just a yellow, or just a green. Where are the hues? What are the hues? A leaf is not one solid color, but many different hues. Same as the sky. You look out at the blue and you see that the sky is not one color blue, but as you move, there are different colors. So please, look for the beauty in others, the difference in others, what others can bring to the table. For out of bad there is always good. The yin, the yang, the white, the black, the circle that goes around. What goes around comes around. So when you're putting out, make sure you're putting out good. That finger pointed out has 3 folded back. When you are harming others, you are in turn harming yourself. So, be good. Be of light. Be of love. Be an inspiration. Be a beacon of hope for others. That this beautiful earth that we enjoy can be a blessing for our generations to come. Because if we don't change the way, the direction that we are headed with a few of those who have decided that they are better than, that they know what's best for, that they refuse to see the pictures, the colors, the need for others on this earth to make it what it is, who want to control us and make us into one color piece of puzzle and not even a puzzle piece, because their definition of the world is sad. It's sad. So we have to forgive others, or I choose to forgive others for not being as perfect as I am, because I know that I'm not. And that's the great thing about the perfection. We might strive for perfection, but it's the progress in meeting that. And it's allowing others to be themselves and not holding them to strict standards. The girls are announcing the presence of someone who is walking by picking up garbage. And how many people notice what a difference one person can make. One random act of kindness just to pick up trash on Mother Earth on a Sunday to keep it beautiful. And that's what our parts are, to do what we can when it is presented to us to keep the world a beautiful place. And yeah, we gotta wish people well. We gotta wish people well for their ignorance and live as that beacon to shed some light on why you think your way is better than theirs. It's freedom over force. So get your information out. Try to accept others. Try not to divide, to look for where we are not alike, but where we as human beings can live happy, joyous, and free. Even if it's just for a moment that we stop and watch as a balloon dances when a street artist plays. It's a beautiful thing. See you. Love you. Bye. Until we meet.